storytelling and battle in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance,
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
it's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
Final stone. Does he have it? Yes, he does! What a shot! John Schuster! Oh my goodness! A third of a rock for... That would make sense when I do the curl.
Well, we got to not kill that. It's got to just be in the catch zone.
I mean, my gut is like hack to board and just roll 3 feet. 2 feet.
Yeah? Yeah, I think it's probably just hack.
You're always touching the 6.
I don't know that this leaves the 4 foot with hack.
Really good spots for Miller.
I think John's in a situation where he needs to send one of the red guards back. Oh, baby.
Yeah, if it's dead nose and just, it's going to go spinning. This actually might catch two and just leak back.
I think it does.
Okay, so it might, yep. Close to dead.
Hammer something.
Extra focus of the players, because sometimes you just couldn't hear yourself thinking, and we needed to like use signs and show what we meant instead of just shouting out a number or like play this hit and roll kind of thing. We had to show everything, so that added another level, I guess, to our game. After that, we've been a little better when the crowd is loud or when you can't hear as well.
Johnson on this one here.
Can't hear yet for line ever.
They like line. Now does it have the speed? They like the line. Does it have the speed? They're going hard for line. You have to get by this top yellow. Trevor Johnson leaning on it. He's by it. Now does it stop in time? Has to stop in time. What a shot from Ryland Kleider. We thought it was maybe the hardest option up from the booth, but that's why we're not down there.
Last drop. Yep. 8th in. From the tie to Isabel Verano.
So you can pick up a souvenir or some of our Grand Slam of curling merchandise the 2-day and throughout the week. It is up above in section 113 and 114.
Team Brad Gushue and Team Ross Whyte.
Open all day. You do not need a VIP pass to get in there.
Should be a great match. What are you expecting to see from these teams, Tyler?
Well,
we've seen a lot more offensive play from Team Gushue this week, I think, than we're used to seeing. A lot more rocks in play, which makes it a lot more fun for us here in the booth, too.
Yeah, it sure does.
Ranked number 4 in the world this season, number 6 this season, 4 overall. Solid season for Gu, a lot of cashes, but not that many victories. So I think maybe a little slower start, hard to say with a team that's number 6 overall, like for the year, but maybe not quite to their standards to this point. For Team Whyte, number 8 in the world, number 10 year to date, a team that's been up and down as well, and I think has been as high as number 3 in the world in the past 2 years. But these are 2 teams that we're used to seeing on this stage. They're more familiar with themselves now, and let's take a look at the lineups for the matchup.
So for Team Gushue, should be very familiar to almost everybody. Skip Brad Gushue, 3rd Mark Nichols. The new addition is at 2nd in Brendan Botcher, and at lead is Jeff Walker. And for Team Whyte, we have Skip Ross Whyte. 3rd is Robin Bryden. 2nd, Duncan McFadgen. And lead, Ewan Kyle.
Team Whyte, Chelsea, a little uncharacteristic, maybe of past Scottish teams. Also willing to mix it up, get some rocks in play. They play an entertaining style. High energy squad, too. We like to see a little emotion out there from the teams. And I think if you're going to see it from one team or the other, we know it's going to be the Red Rocks today. But yeah, really looking forward to this one. This is a matchup that we're going to see, I think, repeatedly. Well, for the next few years at least, and for however long Brad continues to play.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not very often that you look at a team that isn't Canadian and they're the 2nd best team in their own country, but they're 8th in the world. So Team Whyte flies more under the radar than they probably should for how good they are, because they unfortunately are living a little bit in Bruce Mallett's shadow, but a really, really solid team. And this should be, and also I don't remember the last time we have Brad Gushue coming into a game at 0-2. And really desperately needing the win. So one team at 1-1, one team at 0-2. It should be a battle in that sense as well.
Yeah, you talk about living in Bruce's shadow. We all do.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
That's not just on Ross's head.
No. That's every women's team in the world is also living in Rachel's.
Yes,
very much
those
the
are
same way.
some very large shadows. Yeah, and the run that Bruce is on right now. I mean, this is unprecedented, I think, if they're able to win this one as well. 4 in a row in a season. Joel Tornaz won 3 in a row very recently. But 1 loss in 3 slams is incredible. And it's not just that they're winning slams. This is the best field this year now for the men's and the women's that we've ever seen, with the depth around the world and the top 16.
Absolutely.
So to win in these fields right now, 1 time, is an incredible achievement. To do it 3 times in a row is, we're running out of words for it.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, definitely.
So yeah, for Team Whyte, I mean, with how well they played the last couple of years, they have kind of gone under the radar, even as a top 10 team in the world, and not the top ranked team in their own country. But if you can get in the top 10 and stay there on a consistent basis, you're doing a lot of things right.
Oh, 100%. That's
top of the logo.
When we watch these events and it's all the top teams in the world, it sort of seems like it's easy to stay there, and we can both, from personal experience, promise you that it is not. So
mine's good if you're in
a really
the room.
impressive run by Team Whyte for the last number of years.
Okay,
I think we had a cup of coffee in the top 10 somewhere in there. We had one season we were in it for pretty much the entire year, but yeah, just for these teams now, we're into Playdown season. And this is where you're starting the stretch run and you're trying to peak.
You go just there.
Essentially, I think for a lot of these teams, especially the Canadian teams, Playdowns are starting now. You kind of have to view this as the start of your playoffs, where this is where you're carrying the momentum over from. Perfect way to do it, a tune-up with the best in the world. You measure yourself against these teams, and you need to be able to carry that over into the next 2 months and stretch it to, ideally, right into the World Championships.
Yeah, and definitely is the case for most of the teams. Most of the Canadian teams that are playing in this event don't play their provincial playdowns because they have the wild card berth already. So it's sort of the last event you get to play before. When you don't have provincials, you're happy that you have the wild card berth, but it creates an awkward gap in your schedule where you don't have any real competitive games for quite some time because during playdowns no other events run. So huge for Canadian teams that are already have their berth in the Brier and the Scotties respectively to play well at this event. So it's the last real competitive one they'll have before their playdown, before the Canadian Championship. no hesitation here, mixing it up right off the start, which I don't think surprises anybody, but we're right into it.
I thought, a shot we've seen fairly consistently from Team Gushue this season, when they don't have hammer, and especially early in the game, and they throw the tight center to start, when the opponent throws top 8, top 4. Brad's been having Jeff play that short run, like with a controlled weight, because he throws that so well, and you're taking that position away, now you're under the guard.
Can't leave it next to the red.
It's a bit of a risk, because if you're off center at all, you're rolling to a corner, but the whole reason they're throwing it that tight starting out, besides the curl itself, is so they have the option of playing that little short run. They're the only team in the world that I've seen that do that consistently. So as soon as those came to a stop, I thought maybe he'd eyeball playing that one again, but maybe not for the 8 a.m. draw.
Right now.
Maybe he wants Jeff to get his feet under him a little bit.
Not the desired outcome there for you and Kyle, I wouldn't think. I imagine it was probably supposed to be a freeze, so just that little bit heavy. Does look like you could make the double on those two, I think, those two reds, but Brendan electing for now to play the freeze with Brendan Botcher stepping into a new role as a second. I don't think Brendan's played front end in his life before now. He's been his entire career, as far as I'm aware. So embracing this new role and doing it pretty well.
Needs a curl. Whoa. Switch if you're sweeping.
Let go. Okay.
Freeze. Line's good. Line's good. Lock it on here, guys. Line's good. Line's good.
On the nose with this one, if they can work there.
Go. Okay.
Just a hair short, but good line. Yeah, for Brendan, really, it's you have to treat it the same way, stay in the same mindset, with the caveat that people aren't going to remember your misses as much.
That's true. That's the upside of it for sure.
That was the one thing, after skipping for a long time and then shooting third for John, it's like, hey, this is. I didn't throw that one that great, but I mean, there's still 2 more shots.
Yeah.
It's a little weight off your shoulders.
Easy game from that position.
Just go try to make everything for this guy. And anybody that tells you otherwise is lying. I mean, maybe there are players that just want to have that last rock in their hand. That's just who they are. But just that little bit of time between when you throw your last one and the skip throws theirs. Yeah. It's not all your name's not
anything more, really.
Yeah. Much different situation.
When I was a kid, I used to ask my dad why he didn't skip, and he said it was because he likes to sleep at night.
That's a very good point, Dan.
He's as a mostly a career skip, he's not wrong. It's a smarter move in that sense.
Hi, Dan. Hi, Mary.
Clean.
Better be watching your daughter this morning.
Yep.
It's pretty early back home, but they might be.
Hard.
Play-by-play debut. I mean, this is a big day. Wrecked the guard on the previous one, rolled on the rings.
Okay, not bad.
And in off there from Brendan. Shot that he's very used to playing from skipping.
Make the top double into the white one.
It's a little bit of trouble right now for Ross Whyte, talking about which double they're going to throw, which is usually not a good thing when you're looking at multiple double options.
Well, you move something. I think that's a call it.
I've seen this again.
I think we need to do something with those top twos.
Never flex this, it's pretty good.
I heard him say 11, so something around a bumper weight for this shot, bumper or board, I guess, depending which part of the country you're from.
Yeah, you heard a term I don't think I've heard before. If it flicks this, it's good.
I was going to say that too.
Referring to, if they can clip that red stone in the top of the forefoot and unlock it.
Yep.
Those 2 red stones are pretty vulnerable right now. The double is definitely there, so if you could ever touch that at all and rearrange them slightly, it would be a victory.
Yep.
Oh, it does touch it. That's a good flick right there. That's, I guess, exactly what he meant.
Yeah, that does. The double may still be there, but I don't think
much harder.
And release that a little bit.
Really good shot there. Knocking McFadgen.
Roll in there.
Yeah. I think so. It's not bad either. What are you guys thinking?
I was thinking this one, but...
Yeah, me too.
I think he just does this again.
Can we roll right into it?
With weight, like here, yes. You want to throw that?
Yeah.
Okay, here.
Okay.
So what do you figure that weight is when he touches his shoulder, Ty?
I'm going to assume that's firm. Not up to date with Brad's signals, but there's no reason to throw peel here, so I think they're just playing firm.
Yeah, he did say with weight, so I assume more than like a normal. So firm makes sense to me too.
Yeah, I think that's
my
firm.
that was my symbol for firm, but everybody does it a little bit differently. So
yeah, I was going off ours as well. That looks like firm for Mark. Mark's firm is probably a little more than most people's. Why moves it over to nestled up against the red again. Well done by Mark.
Yeah, it put the angle right back where it was. That little flick just went away.
11-5. Again, if you touch these, great.
Flick, you
mean. Do the same thing. Yeah, now it's only ever going to be called a flick.
Yeah, pretty much exact same shot here. This time, Robin Bryden throwing it.
11-3.
Clean. Yep.
11-3.
Very specific weight call, 11-3.
That's pretty good for just using a short time to figure that out.
I wish I put a stopwatch on it. I'm curious how close he was.
Doesn't muscle it this time, but sitting first, second, and fourth. Brad's lining this up, thinking maybe all three of these go. Probably a little more than firm, if that's the case. I think he's content with 1 and 2 going.
What was it? Dunk. What was it? 11-8. Gonna go over the top or try and stick it in here. Two-thirds. It's gotta be pretty hard.
Okay.
That one we know.
When it's above the head, you know what they mean.
Yeah, that one's Pearson Airport weight. Let's see what Mr. Nichols has in the bag. Peel weight.
The right guy throwing it, that's for sure.
Whoa! Yep! Whoa! 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 Get over it. Okay.
Good result there. Sitting first, third, and fourth. Didn't get anywhere near the other Redstone on the wing, but got the 2 out they wanted to, and they wanted to miss their side one.
Yeah, unfortunately for Team Whyte here, the challenge is that the double, the way you want to play it, probably jams a lot of the time on the red on that side. So.
Whoa. Carl. Whoa. Carl. Whoa. Carl. Whoa.
Does get it across the top. Nicely done there from Robin Bryden.
Yeah, good roll too. Sits 2 and doesn't really leave a double. So great setup for the deuce now.
Are we second shot?
For Team Whyte.
I like solid normal.
Okay. It's so important with that weight to keep the shooter around as well. Brad's going to try to have a go at rolling this at least in the area of.
So just try and hit and roll over by theirs, and you don't have to play
the other Redstone.
Solid normal here, guys.
Yeah, at least group them together and maybe have a double on your next one if nothing else.
A little more ice, Mark. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Clean. Whoa. 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 Curl. 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 Roll it. Okay.
It rolls in, shot rock.
Okay. Where's the easiest? If we roll back, can you go thicker beyond this? If nose, is it thin onto that right now?
Maybe, yeah.
He's trying to make this roll probably.
Nose is pretty good.
What does that look like to you if you're there?
It's a long double if you roll to like mid-12.
Like a third?
Yeah, kind of close to going into that.
Yeah, as Ross said,
I think so.
if you nose,
11-5.
the double's really thin.
If it goes slightly out the way,
it may even jam on that side yellow. You don't want to roll middle, make Brad's roll underneath that Redstone shorter.
11-5 on the nose.
Would also make the double easier if you roll towards the middle.
whichever
turns it into a half rock or so.
However far it rolls, would make that decision for Brad.
Don't
So
really
they,
want to roll this way because he makes the roll under a can't nose run. I know, but maybe makes it thicker to miss the other younger. So 11-5.
so I think they're just playing for nose and maybe a slight roll towards the outside, if anything.
It sounded like nose with tolerance being a little high side versus a little low side.
11.5.
Clean.
11.7.
Clean. Low.
11.5.
Clean. Yep. Just clean.
11.5 would be about a bumper or board, again, depending on where you're from, which word you use, but well done there. Right on the nose from Ross Whyte. So now decision time for Brad Gushue.
Normal is close, yeah. Roll perfectly buried, and then it's only for one. Okay, middle of the rock.
Yeah, Brad will get aggressive at this roll, too, as it's not a whole lot of difference between rolling out and hitting it on the nose based on what you expect your opponent to make. It's probably 2 regardless if he doesn't get the roll in.
Okay, hit and roll.
Yeah, so it gives you the freedom to play it fairly aggressively because it doesn't, if you roll out, it doesn't really change the situation very much. And if you make the roll well, as you really only hope at a force.
Normal. Clean, clean.
Whoa. Whoa. Curl. Curl.
Brendan Botcher trying to get this one to move over here. Looks like it's just going to be a nose.
Yeah, really never a chance on that one. So open hit and stick. A lot of house to use for Ross Whyte for his 2.
You probably want to be hearing your... If anything, you want them to be sweeping this rock. You don't want to hear whoa out of the hand. It seems like it's... The ice here is, all week has been fantastic, but it's just that little bit straight and pretty unforgiving if you give that rock a little any sort of outward motion, which is what most of these teams have been trained to do and normally would do, but it's pretty unforgiving. So I would suggest that if you hear hard out of the hand, he's probably got a good chance to make it. If you hear whoa, it's a little bit more questionable.
11-3.
Low then.
Almost 11.
Clean.
Almost 11.
Clean. Clean.
Clean is what you want.
Weight's getting
Yep.
down.
And no mistake there from Ross Whyte. So a big deuce in the first end, and we'll be right back in a few minutes.
Get down, boys. Get down, boys.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mike's. Eat locally, enjoy casual.
Top 8. Top 12.
Weight's good. Lines.
Top 8. Top 4.
Lines a touch tight.
Weight's good now.
Get the weight right. The line's just a touch tight.
Weight's good. I think we're there.
Wasn't sure if this was going.
We're there.
You're right. Weight's good.
Weight's good, Jeff. We're there. Stop. Okay. Okay, Jeff.
Good. Good.
You put ones that got a little wide at the end and a big one first.
Good weight.
Yeah. That curled a bunch. Okay.
Go past it.
We're T-line. It's right next.
I don't know what he thinks carve, where we're going to go with carve either, to be honest.
We're getting 2 different throws every fucking time.
Yeah.
Needs to fucking dial it in.
Yeah.
Do you want the in?
Yeah, Ross gave us the answer there. But because of the placement, to your point, this decision is probably almost made for Brad. It's a perfect little pocket that was set up there. So Jeff Walker looking to freeze right down in the middle of those 2 reds.
And this has got a ways to curl. It's a little heavy.
Curl, Brendan. Curl. Bumping a rock. Yeah, I know. We got to get to the inside, though. This makes it too easy if we don't. Okay. Good shot.
Not too bad there from Jeff.
14-7.
I spin off R2.
Heard 14-7 there from Mark Nichols.
Yeah, it was T-line plus with no sweeping, so really fast, which we've seen all week already. The ice has been really quick and really conducive to sweeping. You can drag a rock a long way, so
7/8 high.
you don't want to, as a thrower, you don't want to miss it on the heavy side because your sweepers can do a lot for you, especially with the caliber of sweeping that these top teams have.
The second you can go.
Yeah, they think they can catch this just a hair high. They're going to lose both of their own, but keep the shooter and lose the yellow one.
That's the important part. Spin that yellow out. Close.
Shot down.
Good. Really good action on that yellow. We have seen the striking bands all week and all season at the slam events with these rocks be very, very lively. So that looked like that rock might not get out of there, and it flew out by quite a bit. So just that action that you get with those lively rocks.
Did you play yours a little fresh? Yeah.
Yeah, they're not the most lively we've seen this season, but you may think in your club that Yellowstone might be buried underneath the corner guard.
If that.
Yeah.
It might not even have gone that far.
Line's good. Room. Whoa.
So Brendan Boccia looking for maybe a freeze here, or a little tap. What do you think the call is?
Okay, line's good.
Yeah, right now they're going
around everything, yeah.
Deep as you can get it, guys. Line's good.
I don't know if that was the
Get as much
idea out
separation
of
here.
hand
Line's
or
good.
not, but
Line's good.
if it is, it's definitely a little outside the box call.
Okay, good shot.
Brad seems to like it.
He's still figuring out the speed to the corner. Heard Brendan in the hack ask Jeff if the guard felt a little fresh to him or not, which would indicate that, is it that little bit slower underfoot because of the fresh pebble? And then probably a little more weight than they wanted, but that's a dangerous rock back there, even though it doesn't look like it should be. It's one that makes Team Whyte a little nervous here, I would think.
Yeah, Brent and I were talking yesterday about how much we really like going around rocks in the house. If you need to create a 2 or 3. This is not a need situation, but if that was indeed the call, I like it a lot. Nice run made there by Duncan McFadgen. Keeps both in the house as well. Yeah, Brad going right back to the same spot. So using that rock in the top 12 as a corner guard.
This is probably where I threw it.
Hey, Dunny, we're trying to call a game here. Relax, huh? Matt getting his pipes loosened up here early morning.
Whoa. Room. Whoa, line. Room.
Nice thing for Brendan is essentially throwing the exact
Jeff
same shot.
Go ahead, Jeff. Curl.
Should know that speed very well.
Curl. Back 4. Really needs to curl, Jeff. Curl.
Got a curl,
curl,
Jeff.
curl. Knife. Get some curl. We're
Chelsea,
wide
one
open.
thing we observed yesterday with the rocks being scratched to try to get a little more curl. And I asked Mike McEwen about this last night too, and he confirmed 100% that the sweeping to curl, the carving, the knifing is far more effective post-scratch. That they're getting the rocks to finish more, not just because there's more curl, but because the sweeping to curl is more effective now too.
Yeah, that sharper surface often will lend itself to the carve being more effective, but then they played with them all day yesterday, so now those surfaces would have buffed out a little bit, so maybe not quite as much today as we saw yesterday, but yeah, there was a noticeable difference after they scratched them, even watching on TV and the amount of curl that we could see players get out of it. Watched Xenia Schwaller's sweepers, the Salinas, carve a couple in a pretty impressive fashion, so definitely saw that be more effective yesterday. We'll see as today goes on. I imagine it might go back towards a little bit less. So Mark looking to get this one a little bit more buried, probably a tiny bit less ice than Brendan had.
Yeah, nice shot by Robin Bryden, rolling that away in middle.
Yep.
So third consecutive time now, Gushue playing the out-turn, come-around draw. A little less house to go to now to get shot rock. That shooter from Bryden staying in the back eight.
Sweeping this one to get it by, and I think it's by, but I don't know that it's going to stop.
And if it's not out counting any of those stones, they'll probably completely ignore it.
So where would you go then if you're going to ignore that one?
That's a good question right now. If you freeze to your own for Gushue, you're sitting, looks to be second. So yeah, I think just away from the pile, something that doesn't set up a good hit and roll or double. So across the center line, top four area.
T-line.
Top one.
Yeah, just above T.
The further back we go, if he noses, it's harder to double for him.
So this will be another new path for Robin Bryden as far as the speed goes, but they seem to think it'll be pretty close. I think I heard them say 14.5, so maybe not quite up to full speed that we see in the quickest spots in the draw to the button path, but pretty close.
You want this stone to be shot rock, not the one in the back of the 8 foot. You want it to be close enough to the button that any draw around that corner red in the top 12 foot can't be shot rock. This needs to curl still to get farther away from the center line.
Duncan McFadgen trying to drag it over to that side. Doesn't curl probably as much as they would have wanted.
There's two options. We can just hit and stay a little high side, or you can do that and try and make the triple.
Mark, do we ever play the double?
He's then trying this double.
Do we ever play this double?
No.
Okay.
It's
good talk.
And we can't get rid of both of these and count two.
Okay.
So it's either this or this. I think I like the second
kind of like
this.
this.
Sure.
This was my first thought. It still gives Team Whyte the option to sit two, but at least it makes it a little bit harder. But if you ever could make the other one, the result is probably better. It's just a harder shot.
Yeah, Brad's switching it up now too, so he also likes the second this. I think this is right too.
Solid normal.
Okay.
It's an easier shot, first of all.
Yeah.
Second of all, you still have a chance of bringing that back yellow into play. It's not in a great spot for Whyte if those other reds are gone.
Yeah, it keeps that one alive. If you don't throw this shot now, then that yellow is never going to count. But if you make this, then it could.
Need to stick around here too for Nicholas.
Yeah, I'd suggest sticking around is even more important than making the shot. Oh, it has to sit.
Pretty good. It's only second and third, but to get all three to go, I probably just needed to curl another half inch to stick around for shot rock. But I don't think it changes the shot for Whyte. He's still hitting.
trying to keep it as high, so if he makes a double, then I've got a double back. Don't want to roll too far that if he makes a skinny.
You don't have to lie to.
No, but I'm telling you, like I'm saying, if we roll deep, if he makes the double, then that double's harder. If I stay higher, if he makes double, then my double's easier.
Sure, I mean, I'm saying we're just rolling here, so you're not rolling very deep anyway.
I know.
Good conversation there, thinking two shots ahead and kind of assuming that Brad Gushue is going to make the double. So if you roll further, then you still leave the double for Gushue, but your double back is going to be harder. By staying closer to the nose, you leave yourself a steeper angle to make the double back if Brad were to make his.
He's assuming Brad plays that double, too. If
Yes,
this is on the nose, I'm not positive that he plays that shot. He can still play that same draw again now and get shot rock. And it's very dangerous for Whyte then because you can't play the run. Because you're running your own stone. If you don't make it, you could give up 3, sorry.
Trying to hit this somewhere close to the nose, maybe a little bit of an inside roll, but not more than a rock or two.
Hard, Carl.
Curling right out of the hand. Oh my goodness, this looks wide.
Yeah, this will make Brad's decision much easier. Just kind of threw it there.
Yeah, they said right out of his hand curl, so either a little bit extra outward motion with that little set or maybe a little bit of a wide slide, but either way, not the result they were looking for, and to your point, makes the decision pretty easy here for Brad Gushue, I think.
I'm just saying, like, if you're... Yeah, no, I think it's a hit and roll. It's just a matter of what ice.
Okay. Looks like a hit and roll. I guess perfect world.
Just on the other side of center, yeah. Could also play enough to get all the way over there.
Man, you got to get...
Yeah,
I'm trying to roll as
you can
deep
get
as
there.
I can.
So talking about
I was thinking board.
both rolls here. One, a short roll to leave no double. One, the long roll to leave no double. So there's an in-between one that's no good. So that they're really making sure they pick one or the other.
Looks like a lot of ice.
Seeing
Probably
a bit
not
of curl
actually.
here.
Okay.
See, this is where I wish I had my telestrator back. We don't have that toy for this game, unfortunately.
Tyler's heartbroken about the lack of Tyler Strader.
You should have seen my shoulders sink when I heard we wouldn't have it for the morning game.
We almost had a tantrum, but we've managed to
Kinda
avoid that.
did.
You had an internal one anyway.
This is, you can't give me the toy and then take it away. That's the problem. We'll have it back.
So here we go for Brad Gushue. Something around a bumper board weight, trying to roll. Not sure if they landed on the shorter roll or the big roll being the call, but he's going to get a small roll.
Yeah, pretty easy decision for Ross now with the double lining up fairly well. Not an easy one. One of those tricky ones, Chelsea, where it's just barely off nose. It's better than it being close to nose where you have to worry about what turn it's going to pick up when you hit it. But you just got to cross this a little bit. I think he'll probably play outside in. Or he may also just fire it with inside out. That broom could be for either one.
Yeah, I think that's the broom either way, so it's hard to know.
Based
Looks
on
like
the
an out turn.
angle of the handle and the hack, it looks like an out turn.
Yeah.
Playing it inside out. Doesn't care if he sticks around. He's just going to fire this one, take the ice out of it. Good clean throw there from Ross.
Hard. Whoa. Yep. Yes.
Whoa.
Yep.
There you go. Perfectly done. You could really see that one came out clean too, Chelsea, that, you know, straight on view. Sometimes there's that little bit of set or whatever. That rock came out dead clean on line. So if they had the broom right, really it was with that weight, that's why you throw that weight on that shot. It's made out of hand essentially if you're on the broom and you put the right broom down.
Yeah, it takes the guesswork out of it with even on ice that curls a lot, often with that kind of weight, you see it not do anything, which to your point is exactly why they throw that weight on most of those shots, because you it takes the curl out of it, so therefore it's just about a line call. As soon as you let it go, you're not anticipating curl, you're not trying to deal with any of that. It's right where he lets it go. So here we go for Brad Gushue. Playing for the blank.
Whoa! Whoa! Curl!
This is fading
Oh
back.
boy, that's falling the whole way.
My goodness.
Wow. So that'll be a steal of 1 for Ross Whyte out of nowhere, and Team Gushue in a bit of a hole trying to climb out when we come back.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mice, eat locally, enjoy casual.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
And is the choice of champions.
There by Brad Gushue on.
Line's good. Line's tracking a touch, but it's okay. Okay. Curl if you can, but it's all good. Shot, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Looks okay, Mark.
The forefoot for the win. We remarked as soon as he let it go, it's a little bit of a pop.
Good. That's good.
That was on the in-turn side on that shot. This one was an out-turn. I think it's just a, that normal set that you see at the slams, especially for putting it on the line and then the sharp break happening late in the shot. It's just not as sharp as what we normally see. So I think there's been a few more wide side misses from the top players than we would normally see in a slam, where we've said so many times, especially early in the game, 90% of the time it's a tight miss because of that sharp break. I'm trying to figure out where it is. But yeah, it's just a little positive on the release, and rocks are gliding a little bit on Brad right now. Or I could have said, I think he was wide. But I want to tell you why, because this is one of the great all-time players, and if there is a little hitch, then there's a reason for it happening, not just that, for some of us that aren't as consistent, he just miss. But if it's happening on the same side every time, almost every miss that Brad has had that we've seen has been on the wide side.
So just that ice that little bit straighter and pretty unforgiving with any set, which most of these players by design would throw that little bit of set, and it seems like it's a bit tricky to do that this week with just the ice just being a touch straighter than we would normally expect at a slam. Really great speed and seems to be pretty consistent, but not as much curl as we've sometimes seen in the past.
Chelsea, we're looking at, again, this 5-rock free guard zone situation where every team seems to have a different philosophy on where to throw this fifth stone. And again, a lot of it depends on where your first two go as the team without hammer. This looks to be maybe just either a tap or tight center. Just trying to get it really tight. Will be half in the paint.
Are you happy with that being in the house, or do you think they would have preferred it to be a guard?
I think the line was the most important thing on that one for them. They wanted to cross a little bit, so if Brad played
the rock on the button?
Hit and roll, it doesn't make it. It doesn't move two stones.
Like that's. I was thinking you can go there. I'm okay with that.
I'm fine with that too.
Okay.
Really implementing the draws around the rocks in the house early in this game for Gushue.
Yeah, you do. You threw the 2 corner guards, and then they're going to use the rocks in the house as a guard instead. Would you not consider going around one of your guards at this point?
Well, one of the reasons they're doing it is the stagger of the stones makes it so that there is no run back to get to it. So if you make it good enough, you might make your opponent be the one to move those stones. And you see the way those are staggered. That's the reason why Brad is playing that shot. It's just the same as any other staggered guards.
Go ahead.
It's going to take 2 shots to get to it if they want to hit it. I like the call.
Go ahead.
Jeff Walker trying to get this to curl as much as he can at the end here.
Good shot.
Good sweep.
I don't know how you couldn't probably do a whole lot better than that.
Yeah, now you're forcing your opponent to trade draws as opposed to them running stones too.
Yeah, you're pretty happy if you can get your opponent drawing when you're trying to generate a multiple point score here. So mission accomplished in that sense. Duncan McFadden going to try to follow this down. Do you want to freeze right to this, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think you want to leave it in a spot where you're starting to pile stones up in the 4-foot area. It's the safest spot, too. You know, if it's frozen on that rock, it's essentially taking that rock out. If there's a little space, maybe there ends up an angle somehow where they can clear it without losing their own. So it's like playing the hit without playing it if you make the freeze dead on.
Hard. Hard, lock it right on it. Come on, go, 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 go.
Sounds as though Ross agrees. He wants to be right on that stone. Pretty good spot. Now that's the idea here for Brad is, okay, now I can clear a couple of these and start trying to manufacture an end.
Is this an intern?
Yep.
What Mark Nichols say during lead stones too, trying to keep the team up. Let's just get a 2.
Yep.
That's the idea. Get your 2, get right back in this. Don't worry about getting it all back at once.
Yeah, deuce, force, deuce.
Shooter.
You're right back to where you want to be. It can feel like a bigger hole than it actually is. So smart. That's a veteran thing to say and think by Mark Nichols, which I'm sure doesn't surprise anybody. But it's what you need to do because it's really easy to want to sell the farm and try to get it back all at once, and that's usually when you get yourself in the most trouble. So just play for a deuce.
Yeah, we probably weren't ever hitting it high. We maybe could have.
If you're going to be down 3-0, being down 3-0 after the first 2 ends is the ideal time to do it. You have lots of game to come back. So playing a chase now for Robin Bryden. Where do you think he wants to roll this?
He'd love to get right in front of his with counter if he can. Doesn't quite roll enough for that, so those rocks open now. And that little separation, Chelsea, as we talked about with that stone in the back of the 4-foot. Now Brad can move both those without losing his own stone. So leaving that even 6 inches short of it keeps that rock in play.
Yeah, that's the level of precision that you're dealing with at these kinds of events with teams of this caliber. It looks like a pretty good shot, and it was a pretty good shot, but it's not quite perfect, and therefore it opens the door a little bit here for Mark Nichols.
Also makes us look smart, too, because we said at some point there may be an angle to move that out, and it only took 2 shots basically to get to it. This really needs to curl, though. And just over curls, or hangs, sorry. And rolls towards the corner, doesn't get behind it.
Sits second and third, though, so not all bad.
Just less than quarter.
Sometimes, too, and I don't know, I haven't called a game on this sheet yet, but sometimes on an end sheet, you'll see the curl being a little bit uneven, one side to the other. So I wonder if that side, because that's the same side that Brad Gushue flashed his blank on, wonder if that side going away from the crowd is maybe a touch straighter.
Sorry?
I think we have to move it, though.
How much do you need for the double?
Crowd getting warmed up here as well. Early morning for everybody.
I don't mind throwing a decent weight out, so I take the guard, it's fine.
It's just the way you might have a double fly speed, though.
I'll make this as nothing.
Try and roll to there.
If we make the guard, you might have that back double, I'm not sure.
No.
12. 12.
They're just playing this soft. You heard 12 the call, trying to roll towards the center, probably just into the 8-foot.
Clean. Clean. Yep. 11-7. Clean. Whoa.
Clean.
Whoa.
Carol. Go ahead, move it.
Needs to curl to get it out. Gives them both in play. Whole bunch of red shrapnel around, but yellow now sitting either second or third. Hard to tell. That Yellowstone still hanging around. It's been moved a couple times.
Speed here. They're getting like 15, like 4. Does that look like minimum ice to you?
Wouldn't it be something if that stone ended up scoring?
It would be, because they have moved it a number of times, but not far enough. So the draw here, I think, is it the freeze, do you think, Ty, or is he just going straight around this to the top of the 4-foot?
We're all there.
It sure looks like it's all there now. I was thinking freeze.
Well,
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think that was probably the call. Thinking it's a little bit heavy.
Yeah. Back 12.
That's a pretty short run if you don't freeze, even though there's a lot of rocks to jam to. But this has got a ton of weight.
It's through the rings for sure.
Bumping it closer to the freeze on that stone again. The rocks all very close to the same distance from the center and the back. You know, red's 1. 2, 3, 4 are very close.
What would you play here, Ty?
I think you can kind of safely play the same freeze. You could drill the 2 yellows, but then you're leaving the draw for Brad. I think you need to take that draw away one way or another. Listen to what Ross is thinking.
He's going across the face, and then I should have that at last.
Yep. We're trying to process it.
There?
Yep.
Fully under?
I think fully under is probably the spot.
And then...
Well, is it? Because if we're fully under, can you make it this
well,
way?
I don't think we can't leave a piece that you can play this.
Okay. Okay, fully under.
Yeah, you need to leave this above the tee because Brad's going to try to find 2 with his last 2. If you throw this behind, he's following. So whether Brad would be freezing or just drawing top button.
I like the draw, Ross.
You want to bury, but you're going behind your own stone too, so you may as well just throw it to top lid.
Fully 4.
But anything you're throwing here, Chelsea, is trying to take away Brad's chance to score 2. You're up by 3. You may get a steal out of it, but where does he want to go? Take that away with this shot.
So your perfect spot is top button?
Top button would be great. Whatever buries in his shot rock above the tee line.
I heard the sweepers say a low 15, so
yeah,
are we looking for a 15-2, 15-3 kind of speed here?
You want to throw this to sweeping weight for sure. It doesn't have to be perfect on depth as long as it's not deep.
Back button. Back 4. Carve.
Yeah, this is still gliding. It sounds like behind the tee.
Walk the back.
Straight.
Walk the back one.
So you want to leave a pocket.
It wouldn't be what they were looking for. Would have liked that above the tee line, but trying to sweep it, I think, to just keep the angle decent for themselves, but opens up the freeze opportunity here for Brad Gushue.
Yeah.
Okay, just make the freeze.
Yeah.
Seems to be just draw the button.
I don't see those yellows counting now.
No.
Unlikely.
Interesting to hear the different philosophies. Heard Team Whyte discussing the hog-to-hog time, that low 15, where Brad Gushue does it by feel, same speed as draw to the button, and the sweepers would give him back either yes, or they would probably speak to him in feet, 2 feet more, 3 feet more.
Weight's good.
Line's good.
Different teams, some teams would use a split time.
Line's good.
Different teams do that differently.
Whoa,
But
it's not curling, guys.
for Brad Gushue, one of the better field players ever,
Lock it on.
it makes sense to relate it to a shot that he already threw, which would be draw to the button.
Yep, we're there.
Really well done by Brad, and still has scoring space too. So Ross is going to need to follow that. Just try to take away a chance for 2.
Shot, Brad.
Thanks.
This should touch this.
Looks like they're considering the run back potentially here, Ty.
I'd be awfully surprised if they threw that. I don't really see a lot for 2 if you make this freeze.
Yeah, like I'm thinking like 7/8 high.
Unless Brad has the run himself, like if it stays a little high.
Mark standing off to the side, probably looking at an angle. Do they have a run or an in-off or something over there?
They have an in-off to the back red. I don't think they have it to anything that Ross would throw now. So I think you just want to be close to nose, maybe even an inch low.
Smoke along like 3/4. Yeah.
3/4 high, there might be a run, but I don't think it's for anything more than 1 anyways. So yeah, I don't see much for 2 if you make the freeze good here.
It's a little bit heavy on his first one, so we'll need to make an adjustment here of a foot or 2 at least of
Line's
speed.
good. Line's good to go.
See, you and Kyle early
Line's
with
good.
that heavy
Slow going.
plow. That usually means if
Slow that room
anything
down.
it's light, but probably close for
Line's
speed.
good. Line's good. Hard then.
Hard then.
Gotta be here.
We're not there. We're
Hard.
not there.
Keep going. You gotta beat these 2 back 2. Hard. Hard, hard, hard.
Well, short there. So that skips deuce is available. Needs to touch any part of the button, or there 2. Brad just threw this, so a big error there from Ross Whyte.
Yeah, this one's.
And when you're in a situation like that too, you think about
Good chunk of it anyway.
you look where it stops and you say, well, he was 4 feet light, but they swept it the whole way right out of his hand, and with sweepers like that, he was probably more like 15 feet light if they couldn't get it there.
Oh, they're just off? Okay.
Just an overcorrection. He was a tiny bit heavy on his first one, but it was close, and so you got to take off a couple feet, which, in my opinion, is the hardest thing to do.
More.
That 2 feet less is always a bit tricky, so just an overcorrection there for Ross Whyte, and leaves Brad Gushue the opportunity to get 2 points right back here.
I thought it was minimum.
Sweep for
I thought it was close.
Wait's close.
Wait's good.
Wait's good.
Line's good.
I just thought this was a little wider.
Line's good, guys.
Wait's
All you.
close. Line's perfect.
Sweepers
Needs a
on and off,
curl.
They seem to like it. Not curling a
curl.
ton.
Always brand new.
14-9 on this.
Curl. Split the tee. Go.
Needs to finish to get shot. Now needs to
Curl and
settle.
sit, yeah.
That's
And
good enough.
no mistake by Brad Gushue. Big 2 on the board, and we've got ourselves a game, folks. Don't go anywhere.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
Every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance, pushing limits,
seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
it's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
Big 2 points. Skipper's deuce there from Brad Gushue brings them within 1. Ross Whyte, 1 up with the hammer, playing 4. Got to be pretty happy with that. What do you expect to see here in the 4th end, Ty?
Knox.
Well, Ross still with the 1 point lead in hammer.
Line's over curling center line.
They want to keep things relatively
It might
open.
die if it's over curling.
This is one of those ends, Chelsea. You
might
take
be
the
a
2 when
corner
it presents
Yeah.
itself.
It's real tight.
You're not
We're on
playing
the logo.
all-out defense. You're still in the first half of the game, but good, comfortable situation for Ross still, especially with this guard crossing center and getting paint.
Oh, yeah,
That'll
slips
make
into the rings.
the decision very easy for Ross. He's just going to hit and roll to the wing.
Out turn at like 11.5.
Uncharacteristic there from Jeff Walker. It's rare to see him miss anything, and for that to both over curl and slide in is not ideal when you're looking to set up a steal here. So you and Kyle will just hit this, and then I think Brad throws another guard after that.
11.
Not a whole lot of choice, I don't think, unless Brad decides just to cash his chips for the end and trade out. But with 5 rock, you can still throw a corner and try to put something together. Good shot there from you and Kyle, perfectly done. Brad's going to throw the center again.
Yeah, no hesitation there. So looking to take full advantage of that 5 rock rule, ignoring that rock in the house, which without the hammer you'd love not to do, but to your point, probably not much choice given the scoreboard situation for Team Gushue here.
Yeah, obviously with it being the 3rd stone, it's still sticking around, but it's really like 6 rock again when you
Halfway. All right, guys, got to be deep enough to be useful.
Brad's never peeling, so it'll be interesting to see where Ross goes with this.
Keep going.
I think you kind of need to take the 4 foot away, because that's where Brad is going.
So where do you think the perfect spot is for this?
Top 8. Kind of even up with the stone in the house. The only other option really is throwing to the other wing, but they may want to leave a side to peel to too. And decent chance Brad's playing hit and roll to try to get underneath off the wing. I think they really just want to take this position away from Brad. This is a defensive shot, even though you're throwing a draw for the 4.
That's probably not a bad play.
The top 8 ideal. This is gliding right now, though.
Well, how deep?
Lots of room, too. It needs
How
to
deep
curl
can
and
you go?
sit for Team Whyte.
Okay, we'll just let it sit to get it T-line.
What was it, Ross?
14-8.
Brad immediately going to the freeze now. Love to start piling rocks up in the center of the sheet. Maybe a quick peel here from Team Whyte on the next one, depending on how well this is made by Brad.
I heard Ross say that was 14-8, which is very fast to have. They didn't lay a broom to that the whole way down the sheet, and it still went back 4. Looking to weld this.
You guys, wait, or line's good, sorry.
A little bit.
Line's good.
Hard, Jeff.
Go, glue it. Okay, good shot.
Okay.
Pretty good, over curled maybe just a tiny bit.
Staying close to the nose you can.
I thought maybe we'd see the peel there from Ross, but I was going to try to unlock this.
So I think
just tap it a little bit. I don't know that I agree, though. I don't want to start playing rock position on the 4 foot with Brad when I have the lead and hammer.
He'd be peeling the guard.
Back 12, back 8.
Yeah, I mean,
back
play
12,
the whole
hard.
end out. It's fairly likely you're going to have a shot to score if you peel.
Hard. Back line.
A 2-point lead after 4 ends in a slam game is a pretty good result.
Whoa. Curl.
It's like a pretty good shot.
Hey, you can't make it any better than they did.
Really good.
That leaves the biter back there. I mean, that's perfect. But again, now it's going to be Gushue coming in and either tapping or freezing himself.
Get to the nose.
I'd like to unlock this again, too, because if you play the freeze and it's staggered a little bit, at some point it might be easy to lose both. So they want to unlock it, but they want to stay 1st and 3rd, or I guess 2nd and 3rd, because
Back line.
shot rock is staying on the ball.
Curl.
Oh, it looks like hack weight.
Mark Nichols trying to get this one to walk. It's a little bit heavy.
No, it's just try and keep 2 of the yellows in the 8 foot here.
Both teams struggling with speed right now. Every miss on the heavy side.
Okay.
Keep locking on.
Boy, now peeling the guard looks pretty good to me. There we go. The end for Gushue to steal is just about over without a bad miss if you peel the guard here. Smart call by Ross. Oh, it's enticing to try to lob another one in there and go for the throat, and it's just not that great a setup for it.
Probably a bit of a scoreboard play there too. If they were down points or even tied, you might have seen a different call. But one up and having the hammer, like you said, I mean, if you're forced to a single point, it's not ideal, but it's okay. It plays. You just don't want to give up a steal here for
getting close to that center line.
Team Whyte. So
yeah, and you can still score too with this
you
setup.
absolutely can.
It's not like you're completely giving up your opportunity to score multiple points.
Whoa.
You're forcing Gushue to get in the house now, so you're safe.
Yep.
Yeah, just a safer way to get there, a lower risk way to get there, and should always have a makeable shot for one, and it still could turn into two. Little jam there from Mark.
Threw it good.
It's very thin.
Threw it good. So just struggling to get the broom in the right place a little bit too, with some of them running really straight. And I still wonder if that was the curl towards the crowd turn. I wonder if that one does curl a tiny bit more than the other way. They seem to be a little bit fooled just trying to map out the sheet shape. Just kind of hit this on the nose, Ty, or is there a good place to roll with this for Robin?
If you roll, you want to roll all the way in front of yellow. If you're not, you want to be right on the nose, close to it. But the roll is going to take away the in-off.
Sweeping it for the roll.
Stop there if you're going to do it.
12-5.
Not too bad. And Gushue, he can play the double and stick, but it's getting a little dicey.
And that little biter comes into play too. So if you don't stick, it becomes risky. If that wasn't biting, you'd see him run up there and rip these two without much hesitation.
Pretty good.
What's the call here, Ty?
I think they're just trying to get to nose. Soft.
Maybe a little quiet.
Yep.
Maybe even a little bit of roll in.
11.
Hard.
Needs to curl.
Whoa.
Not jam.
Whoa. Whoa. Good.
Ooh, bonus. Yeah, bonus at the back there to clip that little biter.
Yeah, a little bit of a break there as that redirected.
Yeah, that feather rubbed that one, didn't
that
it?
Stone. That
easy.
Flicked it. I was just going to say that. Our new terminology. So now you just make the double here, you think?
Yeah, good opportunity for Team Whyte. They got a good 0 or 2. If they can make the double, then you're probably giving a double back. But you play the blank out, that's just fine with Team Whyte.
Whoa.
Curl.
Curl.
No problem there. I think it's fairly likely we see the blank at this point now. A little surprised. Gushue, yeah, I was going to say the inside is probably the easier way to make it.
Okay, well, let's play this, because if I throw it hard enough, I might be able to make it that way. Okay.
There's a pretty big area that you're losing both stones throwing it this way. He was initially calling to slash the outside of the higher one, which you have to hit really thin. And
it's thin.
Even for the best in the world, when you flash a blank.
If I throw it hard enough and just miss, I can still probably make it, but
kind of resonates a little bit. It sticks with you for the next time you're playing something similar. But I think there's more margin for error on this side, regardless.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they came to the right conclusion here. I think you have more options on this side. You heard Brad say, if I throw it hard and I'm wide, I might still make it, meaning that he could come off the deeper rock potentially and still kick that top red out, he thinks.
Yep.
Hard.
That's not plan A. Plan A is to hit the other one first, the higher one. Mission accomplished. It doesn't really matter to stick the shooter there. You're headed towards a blank either way. So nice shot from Brad Gushue, and now we're going to see this this new rule come into play. Talk to us about the new rule, Ty.
So testing this rule out here at the Slam, you cannot blank back-to-back ends without losing hammer. So Team Whyte, if they do indeed blank this end, which we expect at this point, then they'll be forced to score in the next end. Now, obviously, they're not trying to give up a steal either, but if they were to blank 2 ends in a row, then the hammer would go over to Team Gushue. So we'll see them play a much more aggressive
Line's good.
fifth, even though
Line's good.
if this does play out as a blank, they'll have Hammer up by a point. They're going to have to take at least one if they have the option.
14-8 should be here.
So a quick look around the rings here, around the other sheets. We've got Team Dunstone with a deuce in the second end and a steal of 1 in the third, leading Team Kleider out of Saskatchewan 3-0.
Less than that, Mark.
Team Retornaz with a 2-1 lead
Mark got a bit
over
of
Yannick Schwaller.
Still plenty of ice.
And a tie game on the last sheet between Muskatowitz and Ramsfeld.
Two ran into the break scoreboard. You had to look at the teams. I've had a few of those.
Yeah, the break takes away the names from us for a minute, so it makes our job a little bit trickier up here.
You gotta recognize the teams. They're hiding down at that end.
So here we go. Blank attempt from Ross Whyte to maintain the hammer and the 1-point lead going into the second half.
Clean. Clean.
Not on the wide side this time.
Yep. Clean.
For hard, clean, and whoa in a couple seconds span, generally you're probably pretty close.
No mistake there from Ross Whyte, so they keep a 1-point lead and the hammer going into the second half. We'll be back after the break.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mice, eat locally, enjoy casual.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer. The shoes? Unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms? Lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms? Light as a feather.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line. It's a Gold Line.
And is the choice of champions.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
Every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance, pushing limits,
seizing victory.
when victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
And it's the choice of champions.
There's a place where the world's best curling not only lives, it rocks. Download the new Grand Slam of Curling app and live stream all the action. Get exclusive content, stats, merch, and more. Let's rock.
Peace of mind, confidence, and financial independence. At World Financial Group, we believe your path to any of these goals is paved by financial education. That's why our agents spend every day empowering individuals and families of all backgrounds with the knowledge to make choices that fit their goals. No matter your financial goals, WFG can help you own your future. Visit worldfinancialgroup.com to learn more.
Brad? Well, even though we're getting our butts kicked here this week, at least I learned something. So. What?
Making friends? Sportsmanship award. Sportsmanship award. Wait, do you know how to curl?
stolen point. So I think the scoreboard's right about where it should be at this point. And now again, after blanking the fourth end for Team White, they're going to have to score with the no double blanks rule that's been instituted.
Doesn't need to curl.
Be interesting to see how Team White approaches this. Normally, with hammer up a point in the fifth, you're playing 0 or 2. You're playing a blank or take your 2 points if it's available. But they don't have that option. So they're going to need to play this end a little more aggressively than they normally would.
Line's good.
See, they're doing that immediately now, throwing a corner guard. And this is a shot you would never throw in competitive curling with the scoreboard the way it is.
Line's great.
Yeah, that no blank rule really changes your approach to this end, to your point. Normally you'd probably almost prefer a blank to anything else, and now you can't do that. And so knowing you can't do that, and the other problem for Team White is that Team Gushue also knows that he can't do that. So playing a full-on force here, I think for Brad, even a steal would be lovely. But as long as somebody scores one, he's going to be pretty happy. And for Team White, doesn't have much of an option, so you kind of have to go pretty aggressive for your 2 points, I would think.
A little bit early. Minimum. Okay.
Yeah, and in that situation, normally too, I mean, Ross is probably throwing open to the wing. But both teams kind of have the same mentality about this end now. And Gushue going all out with the double centers.
Yeah, I would suggest that that's not a call you would normally see either. That also probably is to do with this no double blank and the situation where Team White needing to generate 2 points. I would think that a lot of the times you would see Brad Gushue put that rock in the house if that wasn't the case, right?
It's almost playing out like a tied up eighth end,
yes,
or sixth end for an 8-end game, where both teams are trying to score.
Really working on this one to try to get it all the way into the house and a little bit buried. They do get it there.
Yeah, they got it to the eights. Another foot would have been really good. Now there's still enough space for Gushue to go around. That rock placement, the first time you go in underneath the center guards, is so important.
So Brendan trying to go around everything here. How deep do you want this ideally, Ted?
A little bit for line.
I think right to the button.
Hard line.
If you can get to top button, that's your ideal spot.
Hard line.
Hard. Hard.
If you're buried, you're taking as far back as you
we're on the
can
right.
get.
We're on the right.
This is over curling.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't too bad. A little bit short.
Yeah.
Like end turn low.
Switching, not really switching gears, but eventually we're going to have to do something with this setup in the middle for Ross Whyte. So looking to play the double peel, I think.
Hard. Hard.
Job.
Oh, great
Really
shot
good.
there.
Good.
He made that look easier than it was, Duncan McFadden. That's a long double peel and a really thick one.
Yeah, you can only roll it so far to get both those off. Can't really do it much better for McFadden. That's a fantastic shot. Still a center in play for Gushue to work with, but a very high one.
So looking to replace that tighter guard for Brendan Botcher here.
Bit of room.
Halfway high.
Okay. When I get at least halfway, make the double peel tough.
Just there.
Line's good. Just keep it moving.
Keep going.
Just short of the W.
Keep going.
Line's good.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Good.
Good placement on the center guard there too.
Shot.
Now another go with enough of a stagger here that they can just see the tighter guard. That's the one that's going to hurt them more. So just playing the single.
Yeah, I think you'll see this for a few shots. How long do you wait before you make a play on something here?
I was just surprised because it didn't feel like no, that's all.
I don't see them really doing anything until
okay.
maybe thirds. First would be the earliest. I'd expect maybe the second. if you're Gushue, if you can get it all the way to skips first, that's probably better yet.
The redstone is shot rock right now based on the overhead camera, so at some point, Brad Gushue is going to have to do something about that, but I think, to your point, he'll wait as long as he can.
Halfway. Same spot.
This one.
line's good.
A bit better, I think. Second one down.
Weight's good. Whoa. No deeper than that, Jeff.
Yeah, on this angle, you don't really want to be too deep. This might be one that Ross can slash in, try to lose both and roll to the corner. Did finish up more than
like a hair high on the end time,
but I think you're still having a go at it.
He's looking at it.
I think it's fairly safe. It's hard to throw it so it hurts you.
Try to run if you're trying to single field. Do you ever like the run just a hair high and try and hold the red as well?
There you go.
Yeah.
Robin's on the same page as you.
I do.
Well,
we have on the same jacket. We have the same vibes together. I just bought the one off my back at our charity event. For the kids, of course.
Of course. So I think trying the run back.
Off.
Yes.
Yep.
It's close.
Hard. Gotta go.
Oh, and he'll stuff it behind the corner guard. Just leave him shot rock, but now there's a little more for Team Gushue to work with here.
Yeah, it's hard to stick that one, but Robin manages to do it. If that's even a half-inch higher, they're both gone. You're guarding your own. It's still not a terrible setup, the way the angles are.
What's the risk with that, though? If you just peel it, then you force Brad Gushue to put it back. Now you've left him a guard, so he can make a bit more of an offensive play here in the house. Looking for a little hit and roll here, you think? Do you want to be fully buried on this, or do you want to leave a piece open?
Curl!
You have to curl it to get to nose.
Yeah, it's tough to get a piece underneath, too.
Curl.
Even nose is pretty good.
Good brushing, Brent.
Yeah, that's a good spot.
Nice weight.
You don't need to bury there, because if you roll under, you're kind of forcing Ross's hand to draw.
Yep.
But now that rock is accessible, but Ross can't hit and get shot.
11.
So I think that's pretty much ideal.
They try to roll like just here.
Yeah.
Underneath these two reds.
Now you're forcing him to leave the dangerous stone. So this is a short roll here. You don't want to roll all the way underneath the yellow. You're just trying to roll short underneath the red.
11-2.
Clean.
11-2.
Clean. Yeah.
Robin
Yeah.
Bryden.
Hard.
Gonna get some roll. Where's it gonna settle?
Stop right there, not bad. Probably a little more roll than they would have liked, but called clean for almost the entire shot.
That's why it's going to be really hard to lie to and keep that sunk.
Pretty good shot there.
No. Well, we stick it there, he probably plays this draw.
We're really nitpicking. That's probably 6 inches farther.
Yeah, I'm okay with just planting it, Mark. Even if we spin off to be...
I feel like if you plant it, you're going to see...
You got to nitpick at this level. That's how these guys got this good.
Okay. What do you think? Just normal?
There's a chance
whatever, like, I don't think it's going to do much here.
Okay.
You're trying to hit a third?
Yeah. Quarter. Normal. Just plant it there like I
think so.
It's almost impossible. Well, you can wide too, but we're rolling them both left to center, and then he lobs a draw in.
We don't need to force him that way, because at the end he's got to draw the house for one anyways.
No, exactly. Okay, just normal weight.
So normal weight attempt here from Brad Gushue. Going to try to... Can you run that on there and still stick the shooter, do you think?
No, he's just playing to stick this, and he knows that the shooter's going out. It stayed to be a bonus. They're not overthrowing it, just playing solid normal.
Good normal.
But you heard Brad say, I'm fine with just sticking.
Yep.
Meaning the shooter he's not really concerned about.
Whoa. Yep.
The most important thing is that it's buried. Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what they're looking for.
8-8.
Don't want to too far because then the cap is top button, try and kind of.
You could chase that if you wanted to, but for Team Whyte, knowing that they can't blank, is there much point in chasing it is the question.
No, you're trying to score 2, so might as well just wrap with the out turn. I think that's a pretty easy call here.
So Ross Whyte with his first shot going to try to come around everything here. How deep would you be trying to take this?
You want to leave a little bit of scoring space, but you don't want to be so deep that the freeze kills you. So I think just top 4 and a little bit higher makes it tougher for Brad to kind of chip that sideways into it too if they elected to. So I think just top of the 4 foot. So just enough space you can draw up to it for a second counter, and not so deep that a freeze kills you.
Clean.
Clean. Line's good.
T-line right out of the hand, probably a little deeper than they're hoping. Still on the outside guard here.
Hard carving.
Okay.
Gonna make it through the hole, but where's it gonna stop?
Back 8, back
needs
4.
to really slow down to still be shot. Trying to figure out, can I finish it? Still shot rock.
14-3.
It's your second best spot if you're not going to be above the tee. As far back as you can go and still be shot. Gushue, pretty easy call to follow. And he's got a
Wide, we got to go back.
big area he can throw this to kill the 2-point line. But if you're playing for the steal, you're throwing this right
Make
to
it
the
as good
button.
as we can, and he'll have an angle raise for 2, but.
So there's your answer. You could, if you were very happy
mind
with the
us a
force,
little
you could
more,
just
Mark.
draw right to it. But
Yeah.
Brad Gushue thinking he's going to try to make this good, which is probably somewhere on the top of the button, would you say?
Yeah, or framing it. I mean, anything basically that's buried and on the button. Top lid's just fine.
Opportunity here for Brad Gushue to put the pressure on Ross Whyte.
Line's good.
Wait only, guys.
It's good. Top button.
Brendan
Line's
Botcher,
good. Yeah.
Jeff Walker on the sweep. They seem to like the speed.
We're there. Line's good. Looks like. Gotta
Line's
go.
good.
Gotta go.
Gotta go to get this one in there.
Hard. Keep going. You gotta be shot. It's hard.
Really gotta go. They're gonna get it there for shot.
A little shorter than you'd like, but now you can just draw for your 1 too.
It died a little bit. Yeah.
Oof.
Good toss.
Yeah, I thought it was there a little easier.
So a little surprised that one was as light as it was, but great sweeping there from the front end to get it in there. And it's going to be Ross Whyte with a draw for 1. Needs a good chunk of the 4 foot here.
Needs at least half. 3/4.
Clean.
Line's good.
Line's good. Just sweep for tee.
Sweeper's not on it a bunch early,
Sweep
but they
for tee.
seem
Oh,
done a
to
lot
like
line.
it. You and Kyle and
Line will
Duncan
be good. Just sweep
McFadgen
for tee. Line's good.
guiding this one in for Ross Whyte. Needs 3/4 4 foot.
Good judge, boys.
And there's no mistake. So 1 point for Ross Whyte. He'll have a 2-point lead going to the 6th.
Go, Ross. Good.
Peace of mind, confidence, and financial independence. At World Financial Group, we believe your path to any of these goals is paved by financial education. That's why our agents spend every day empowering individuals and families of all backgrounds with the knowledge to make choices that fit their goals. No matter your financial goals, WFG can help you own your future. Visit worldfinancialgroup.com to learn more.
sixth end action between Brad Gushue and Ross Whyte from the WFG Masters in Guelph, Ontario. I am Chelsea Carey here with Olympic gold medalist Tyler George. And Tyler, what are we expecting to see here in the sixth end?
Well, Gu's down 2. He knows what his job is now. Really like to get this to tie it up before you get to the last couple ends. So this will be all-out offense from Brad. The only way they're taking a point is if you don't have a choice at this point. So we're going to go right to corner guard.
Same time he's
Brad tends to go opposite side corners when they get the opportunity, not stacking. So throw this to mid, right around that WFG logo on both sides. Almost assuredly seeing 2 corners. We've seen some teams go 1 corner and go in immediately, and sometimes that's based on rock position as well, but I'd be pretty surprised if we didn't see opposite side corners here from Jeff Walker for Team Whyte. I think they've shown a propensity to go in twice to start the ends off and then go to a guard after. So expect this to be top house.
Top 4.
That is indeed the call. So consistent game calling and game planning from Ross Whyte. You like that as a team. You know what to expect on what you're going to be throwing and stick with a consistent strategy. And Chelsea, these teams aren't doing these things by accident. This is trial and error, figuring out what works best for you. There is no right and wrong or a curling 101 call or anything like that. It's just whatever gets you the best results, and that's the fun thing about the 5-rock rule is we see so many different approaches on how to defend and how to attack.
Yeah, and they would have all studied this to know what has given them the most success in the past, watched game tape and gone back through the stats and the analytics and all that kind of thing to make these decisions. They're not happening in a vacuum. It's all based on, to your point, on experience, on trial and error, and different teams will do it differently, but you have to know what works best for your particular team.
Top of the logo.
Top of the logo. So looking for this to just come down to the top of that WFG logo in the center of the ice here. So a tight guard.
Halfway. Okay, top of the logo. Halfway. Line's good. Where?
They don't want it so
Just
tight
halfway.
that Gushue could hit and roll
Line's
into the
getting really
rings with a soft weight shot or decide to run. So they just want it mid-guard, center line. Just a hair higher than we'd like, but a good spot, line perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. Start the nose.
What's that?
Throw it at the nose and get a little curl.
No, I want to hit it high side.
Okay.
Yep.
So Brad asking Brendan to run this guard back into those 2 rocks in the house in a perfect world, but wanting to stick your shooter here as well, I would think, and ideally roll it to another corner guard.
Yep. Yeah! It's close. Good shot.
Very well done, yeah.
That's almost as good as you can do it. The only way that's better is if you hit the exact same spot and throw it a little bit harder so that the other one goes out too. But that rock is not as big a concern. It is choking off the draw path to go underneath that corner. And the center guard is doing that for the opposite side too. So there's not great draw paths for Gushue right now. Still not a bad situation.
It's hard to get around this just now. They have to go around the outside.
Right. Thank you, Ross.
Don't mind that, son.
Yeah, and this is smart here, Chelsea, peeling on the side that they can still use. They can tap that rock back and create something freeze too.
Yep.
Ross himself said if they're going to go on a corner on the opposite side, they have to go wide. They have to go all the way around the outside of the stone.
Yeah, that guard ending up being a little bit longer than they wanted, not quite to the top of the WFG logo, actually comes in handy in this situation, because now after Brendan made the run back, it sort of takes away that one guard. So exactly to his point, Brad Gushue asking Brendan to come around this on the wide side. Little discussion about weight out here. What would you expect the speed to be out here compared to the rest of the sheet?
I've seen this shot once this week, and it was the first time we saw it this year, basically. now we're seeing it twice in 2 days. Team Moskotovitz played this exact same shot on a different sheet last night. They guessed a little bit, just a couple tenths shorter than regular tracks, and they made it perfectly.
Back 8.
I think Team Gushue might have guessed maybe a half-second difference, and this is still gliding.
Needs to settle down. And will not.
We don't think that's in from the overhead, but yeah, it's a guess on the weight out there, no question. It's just not a shot you play at any point, so.
I think you generally assume it's going to be a little heavier. The question is just how much, and unfortunately, to your point, if they guessed half a second, that's about 6 feet, and it was probably pretty close if that was the case to normal speed out there. Unfortunately, just guessed wrong, and now going to give Ross Whyte an opportunity to try the double peel, it looks like here.
Love to lose both these if they can. Just straight sticks in. So still an opportunity now for Gushue to get 2. If that double peel's made, then Brad's likely drawing underneath the red stone.
Yeah, that red rock becomes your guard if that double peel's made, but this is a better guard than that. So electing to play the same turn, now you could go the other way, but they just threw this. They feel like they know it, and it seems like the speed out there was pretty good, actually. So Mark Nichols going to try to take 6 feet off of what Brendan threw and sink this one in with the out turn.
Still an opportunity now for Gushue to tie this or maybe sneak a 3 out of it.
Well then.
If this is made above the tee line, which doesn't sound like it is.
Yeah, well, I'm not worried about being shot.
Could have brought the other corner into play as well with that red
Needs
stone.
a curls.
This has got a long ways to curl, but it's starting to turn.
Curl. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Needs a curl. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Okay.
It's at least partially undercover, just on the backside of the tee line, but
I can probably chase if you wanted.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if it makes it harder for us.
It's whatever you like.
Definitely a
Quite happy losing it.
So,
what way?
Not so much a question about the shot here, more so whether it's better to stick your shooter or not. I think I tend to agree with Ross that if anything, it might make it harder for you if you stick it there, and then Gushue goes around that guard the other way, and now you've set up a jam possibility. So I think just trying to peel this out.
Clean.
It simplifies the shot too. You don't have to worry about the ice when you can just put it on the edge and throw peel, and Robin makes no mistake there. So same thing as the draw. You're kind of getting into a little bit of a guessing game on the weight and where you're putting the broom if you're playing it soft and trying to stick. And it could play into a jam anyways, so may as well just peel it out, take the ice out of play. Gushue's down 3 stones now, so highly unlikely that anything more than 2 is on the board.
Wait's good. Definitely.
Room.
Felt like 4 to 6
Needs a
feet
curl.
left.
Jeff, go ahead.
T-line.
They felt like 4 to 6 feet less, which is what he would have been trying to throw. Still has a long way to curl, though.
Curl.
Top 4. Help him, Brendan.
Curl.
Help him.
Curl. Curl. Keep going, Jeff. Don't stop till it stops.
Keep going.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Okay. Good.
Similar to the last one, a little bit higher, a little bit more buried.
Tiny bit more buried, I think, yeah.
This may be I mean, if you're playing scoreboard straight out, you're playing the run.
It almost goes 3/4. Yeah. 7/8 looks like it stuffs.
Freeze is the other option, but up to, I'd be pretty surprised if they didn't play some kind of run here. That is the call. Other call being if you're playing ultra conservative, is just straight peel. Make sure you don't leave it up there. But pretty unlikely that you're going to stick it to the point that it's still buried if you're playing this run. And you're kind of conceding to it. I like the call here.
Deal.
Close.
Yep. So Ross Whyte looking for the run back.
Curl. Curl.
I don't want to roll it underneath the other red, too. Now they're shot rock, so it makes Gushue have to play to that other red at least, and that's a delicate hit and roll.
Yeah, kind of sneaky good, as it turns out. The roll's tough because you got to really be careful not to jam it.
There's a decent area you can hit this and miss the back, roll to a good spot too. Just have to stay high side. You're never getting 3, so you're not as concerned about rolling. You're just trying not to leave a double back for
Good
team
board.
because they're playing any double they have an opportunity to make. If it's there.
Yep. Whoa. 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 Curl.
Curl. Curl.
Curl. Whoa.
Whoa.
Straight.
Straight. I got the roll. I
Straight.
got it.
Roll this all the way to flat.
Right to the 12-foot. Go, 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 go. Hard.
That's a great shot from Brad.
Very good, Brad.
No double there, I don't think, no matter how hard you throw this. So do you try to roll under the guard here if you're Ross Whyte?
That's the only option you have now. It's just try to get this underneath the corner and make that dig hard for Brad. If anything, you want to show a quarter of a rock on the outside. Maybe even a little more, because there's going to be a lot of distance between the guard and the stone. So the intern dig is pretty straightforward, even if the rock is completely buried, just because of that distance.
Yeah, no matter how good he makes it, you're going to leave Brad Gushue something. You're just trying to make it as hard as he possibly can. So hit and roll attempt here from Ross Whyte.
Curl. 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 Hard curl.
I haven't seen the carve all that effective in the outside of the sheet over here. Got that one to dance a little bit, though.
Yeah, that curled more than I expected it to, so really good carve there.
I don't think we're jamming on this one, Mark, but just through.
And they left the right side. If you're going to make them play one or the other, make them play around the outside where it's straighter.
I'll go straight.
Yep.
I think he'll probably be carving it a little.
Yeah, we've seen this probably be the straightest spot on the sheet.
Just through the
really good shot to make this as hard as you can for Brad Gushue, looking for.
Plunge it on the back one, it doesn't work, right?
It's just one, so we got to hit a little bit high.
Okay. Brad thinks that if it dead jams, it's only one.
What do you think of that ice?
So they need to hit this a little bit on the high side.
Right,
to
you'll
get
get some finish.
Like just through.
You're just through the call and the weight, so may have to pound this one late to make sure it has enough weight to clear that stone too.
Big opportunity for Brad Gushue. Tough shot. Little tap for 2 here, just through weight, backline weight.
Clean. Yep.
Hard.
Yes.
Hard. Just through.
Hard.
Brendan Boucher on this early to try to hold it straight. They got to get it by the guard first.
Hard. Hard.
And it's by. Now it's a matter of if it gets it out.
Stay it on the high side.
Awfully close.
Did he get it?
I think it's good.
Looks yellow from our overhead camera here. They're going to take a look.
Okay.
Great shot from Brad. That'll be 2 points on the board, and we've got a tie game here going to 7.
Good sweep.
Thanks.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
Every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance, pushing limits,
seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
Welcome back to 7th end action in the WFG Masters. Really big 2 points there from Brad Gushue. That was a hard shot, Ty.
Yeah, they really had to hammer that to make sure they had enough weight for the two besides to get by the guard. But great sweep there from Boucher and Walker. tear that down. I don't know that I've said that line too many times. Great sweep from Botcher. I mean, for 6 feet, yeah, he's pretty good. But no, that's a big one there. And that's, you credit your sweepers, the pat on the back. You throw it out there, and they make that one for you. And Brad gave it a chance. That was the biggest thing, is the wide side, not necessarily sure if it's going to come back. So he put it out there for the sweepers. Great scrub from Jeff and Brendan, and huge point on the scoreboard, obviously, to be 4-4 as opposed to 4-3. 2-end game.
Whyte's good.
Whyte will have hammer in the first end of the 2, and that classic 0 or 2 end now, Chelsea. If you can get the blank, that's fantastic. But
We're on the bottom of the logo.
take the 2 if it presents itself. So this is always that chess match of how long can you keep the blank and play 4, and is there a point where you feel like that's out of play and we have to go hard for the 2?
Yeah.
You don't have a set plan at the start of this end for one or the other. You're playing it to keep both options on the table, gauge it as it goes, and then you make your decision based on the rack position.
So choosing to go in first here, which we haven't really seen much of this game, or most of the time we've seen throw the corner guard. So what would be the reasoning here for going around this now?
Well, you're keeping blank in play going in. You throw the corner guard up, you're kind of saying essentially from the start, we're trying for 2, no matter what. And if they were to go to the corner, Brad's probably throwing a second center up. If you can get in first, then when they're throwing the second center, they're probably going to be looking at 2 in the house around that by the time they're throwing.
Lots of time. For once.
It's kind of an interesting spot. It's top 8. To biting 4 is probably the range you want it to be in, no deeper. It's not a great spot for Brad to freeze to. And I always kind of like in this situation, too, throwing it kind of open.
Yeah,
in the top 8.
little teaser. You can see enough of that to chase it, but I'm not sure if that's the call or not. And it makes you think about it, which is kind of what you want if you're Ross Whyte.
It does make Brad's decision to throw the second center very straightforward, but I don't know that there's a spot that
Same split as that
Ross
other
could
one.
have had you and throw
Sure?
that
I thought it was
Brad
more
wouldn't
pad.
be throwing the second center unless it was like backside of button and they're freezing automatically.
Right on the top logo.
You
Line's
have
good.
to take that position when you can.
It's over.
Line's good. Line's good. Whoa, Mark. Whoa.
Good shot, Jeff.
Okay.
Wanting to make sure that one hit the
Jeff.
center line so that it couldn't be
Real
ticked
nice.
off by Ross Whyte. So not much choice here again for Team Whyte. Going to have to throw another one in there. And to your point on the first one stopping that little bit light, I think he's actually looking to tap this a little bit if he could.
Yeah, it'll be a really good setup here for Ross if this is made here by you. And
Back 4.
just want to tap it to top button.
Top 4, T. Close. Top 4. Whoa, carve. Well, hair light.
Weight's good for bump.
Slightly straighter side coming off
light.
of the sideboard
Straight.
now, trying to get it to turn a little more. Yeah, that's really good. Really good angle there for Team Whyte. Anytime you have 2 rocks above the tee line that are dead angled to anything that would go to the button as team with hammer,
Can we tap it?
that's a good position.
That was my first. Back 8.
Okay.
Kind of map out the next few shots here now, too. This would be a tap.
Back 8, back 12.
Back
Trying to
8,
get
I think.
Shot rock behind the tee line. Then you'll see a peel coming up from Team Whyte after that. Gushue probably replacing. We may see a couple of those. The next 4 or 5 shots, I would think, would probably be right around there.
Back 12. Well,
Team Gushue will have to make
clean.
a move on things
Back 12.
before we get the skip
Clean.
stones.
Close. Back 12.
Whoa.
Back 8, back 12 here from Brendan
Curl.
Botcher, trying
Curl.
to get as close to the nose as they
Wait,
can.
wait. Clean.
Curl.
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 Whoa. Okay, good shot.
That's pretty good there
Well
from
done.
Brendan. Maybe a little farther back
Yeah.
than we would like, but good result. I'm pretty surprised if Ross didn't play the peel here. They're drawing in. They're saying we're sitting 2. The rocks are kind of staggered off, and we're attacking, but he's looking at playing the ones.
I guess top 4.
Too. It's a little more aggressive
single
play.
helps us because then they're there.
Can you give the run a go, no? It's up to you. I think they're the 2 calls.
Yep.
Again, this is just how we're going to approach the end type of shot. So the fact that they're playing the tap now says we like these angles. If we change these up a little bit, tap the yellow so it spills open. We're controlling the center of the sheet. But you need to move that red far enough that it cuts off Gushue's draw, because they're, no question, playing the out-turn, come-around draw on their next one if they can get to that max button shot.
Wait's good.
Line.
Clean. Wait's good.
Clean. Yep.
Back 4 still.
Clean. Yep. Hard. Hard.
Let me tap this a little bit now.
Shot.
It's pretty good, but that out-turn draw is still there for Brad. He's immediately making that call.
Do you want it all the way back?
Yep.
That's the reason why I thought that was kind of a questionable decision, is unless you tap it all the way to the button,
plus a few feet.
Brad's playing this shot, and you're stacking so many rocks in the center of the sheet that the blank is pretty much out of the picture now. Big shot here in this angle from Brendan Boucher.
This is a bit of a make or break one. It doesn't even have to be perfect. You just want it to be shot and at least partially buried here, I think.
Wait only. Wait only, guys. Line's good.
Wait's good.
Jeff's in. Whoa,
Keepers
whoa,
like
whoa,
it.
whoa, whoa, if it's heavy. It's real heavy. Jeff, curl. We're heavy. Whoa. Okay.
Good judge, Jeff.
It will be shot rock. It's behind the tee line, but it's going to have to look at angles now, and they maybe now kind of trap themselves into having to play the freeze. And Chelsea, the biggest thing here is that you know, even if you make this shot, 2 is getting really difficult.
Yeah, your scoring area is getting awful small, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't really like how Team Whyte has run this end. And when we talked at the beginning of the end about mapping it out, it's all about avoiding this situation right here.
Wait.
We have our first final on the next sheet.
We're back 4.
It'll be Team Dunstone taking the win over Ryland Clyder.
I'll move it. Keep going. Keep going.
This needs to curl.
I'll go right to it. Right to it. Right to it. Right to it. This way.
Shot.
Yeah, it's a good shot, but I mean, now Gushue makes that same freeze in here, and
Just top button.
it's not a great
Trying to get to the inside here.
for Team Whyte. You're not really in more danger than
That was
giving up a
14-8.
steal or 1, but that's really not what you were looking for starting this end off. Kind of trap themselves into it.
Yeah.
Now, if you were Team Whyte, would you rather give the steal of 1 or score 1?
Curling stats in general say you'd rather be the team that's up 1 without, but each team, it's different. You know, they look at their own
Line's good.
numbers
Wait's
and
close.
strengths, and
Wait only.
you know, some teams
Line's
like
good.
to be down
Yes.
1.
Yep.
The numbers used to be right in that 58, 59%
You
range
gotta go
for the team
line.
that's up 1 without. But
Light.
that's it's a close enough number that it really is all about your own team stats.
Spin
All these teams know that.
Okay.
Over curls is a little light
Mark.
as well, so
You're not getting the
little
back
mistake there from Nichols. Still do have control of that side with that yellow stone, and there isn't much of a way in for Ross. So
I don't think
again,
you're blasting it that fast for sure.
it's kind of, you know,
Putting the red spins probably.
cutting down your options to, we're obviously all out
First
to try
thought
to
was
score
this.
2.
Ross, do you ever just like nose or low on the yellow you just threw?
That was the other thought.
I think I like that because you want to control that position. Obviously, you can't be high, but if you can get
Like
to
my
nose
first
or
thought
even
was
just
this-
hair inside.
Here.
I
no.
don't like these angles because we can't do anything that red and they can put this in.
I just didn't want to really open this up too much for them by playing off this. First thought was go here and make him have to make something.
That angle's pretty good for them because it's only going in there. And we don't have anything on this.
We should always have this back then, should we?
Potentially, yeah. We try and move these.
I think the 7 spins a touch.
I think the 4 spins back though.
Maybe time for the timeout once you
So maybe
take
see
this
if you
much
like
time.
this, if you
I
like the
just
one
don't
that's,
like playing this one, and if we overroll and he hooks one in there anyway, we're back in the same
are we ever
spot.
just playing like back 8 off it and just trying to put it?
There you go.
There we go.
Are we ever playing back 8 and just trying to put it
No, we need...
here? Well, then this is going nowhere.
Yeah,
It takes
but
off your shot they're talking about.
I know, but it's so precise.
Right, no red spinning by the 4, was it? Because it's a wee bit off.
It's definitely spilling a touch.
Yeah, but I think it's staying on top.
I don't think the 4 is going, so 4 is only staying behind
When
it.
you're throwing this at just a little bit of weight just to kind of kick the 4 and the 7 and keep them on
I
top.
think if you catch a thin piece of this, it doesn't go any further than this one.
Here, though.
My concern right now is this angle for the yellows always nicer than what we've got this red.
You know what would be really nice to
Even if
have
we
right
open it
now?
up, it's still the same angle.
A Tyler Strader?
Yes.
But I'm saying, like, if you blast
So that
this
yellow's
shit,
actually
and
not
then
being
this goes here,
stopped at
you're
all.
saying throwing a bit
When
of
I
weight,
draw
you're
on
moving the back 8.
the screens
I don't love that.
And then if you played
front with the
onto
marker,
that,
it doesn't show up for
down, it might
everybody else.
No, no one else can see it.
Ross was wanting to play this.
Yeah. And if he freezes one in there, at least it's open. I'm going to have a slush.
It just opens us up, I think. Can we not play this?
It's just so precise. Like I'm not guaranteed. You're not guaranteed to put it there.
Somewhere in here is pretty good.
I'd rather get rid of it, so this one becomes a worry for them.
I think you're seeing your shot, Ross. Let's play that.
No, I can see this shot. I'm just.
Well, I don't think we know really where we want to go. Right at the moment, we don't know where we want to go with it. So let's play yours and try and get 3 in there.
I'm seeing it. I'm just thinking it's probably nose. I don't think this is spinning that far. I think this is also going touch.
Robin's about done talking. He's ready to throw it.
Robin's first thought was to hit this yellow on the right-hand side, somewhere near the nose. Ross
Just try and get nice
went
spin
straight
down
to
here.
the other side as his kind of gut.
If this spins far enough, it might go onto this. 11.
11, 11, 5 or 11?
11, 10, 5 probably for how thin we have to hit it.
Okay.
So trying to hit a little less than what they can see on this red. Just really control weight, board weight.
10-7.
Yep.
10-7 right between these two, between control and board.
Clean.
Whoa. Carl.
Whoa.
It's close.
Yeah. Really good.
Yeah, it's good, but I mean the outturn draw is still there now.
Try to get a little low, hey? Okay. I think you want to be right on the nose, don't you? If you get low, he's just blasting it. Unless you can get low and lost. I don't know if I can get low and lost. I think just freeze right on the nose then. Sure. Yeah.
Good point by Brendan. Mark initially saying he'd love to get a little bit low,
Did he
meaning
give you any
across
more
this
room?
red rock towards the center
That
line.
same ice?
Brendan
a little bit
suggesting that
more.
if you do that, it leaves a basically a peel or slash for Ross Whyte's team, and so Brendan saying unless you can get low and lost, meaning low enough that you're fully buried. Mark saying he doesn't think it can get there. So landed on the nose freeze, I think, here for Mark Nichols, but really big shot.
Got the same weight.
Line's a little tight. Yep.
Good. Put her 2 more weight.
Yep.
Reach guys, T.
Whoa. Wait
A
on
dead
weight.
nose freeze is ideal.
Clean. Whoa. Whoa. Curl.
This is
Curl.
running a little bit.
Little bounce.
Curl. Curl.
It's bouncing, you definitely need to
Curl.
get to nose.
Jeff Walker trying
Curl,
to get this
curl.
to walk over
Whoa,
here.
whoa, 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 no.
Great spot. Good spot.
That's really good. With that little bit of separation, staying a touch high is a good thing. Brad's not concerned if he shot rock or not right now. It's all about that position.
Hair high?
It's really close
Yeah,
for
just a
shot.
slither high.
And it might not be after this.
Oh no, it probably won't be after
Like
this
9.
if Team White has anything to say about it.
This doesn't spin too far.
Robin Bryden trying to make a bunch of rocks move here. This one will be coming with a little bit of pace, I think. Not too hard, but
9.
Oh. Close.
9.
Close.
Carl.
just a little high side of nose is ideal.
Go ahead and move it.
Yeah, rolls to backside a button, so
Not too bad.
still an opportunity for Gushue to
They're
get
as good as we can.
Yeah, we don't need to for
in
now.
that area. They don't need to move it yet, but they really would like to get into that
We're not
pocket.
gonna get it all the way there.
I would like this to curl a little bit more than Marks did, I would think, so probably a touch less ice.
And Brad's happy with either team
Get her in
scoring
there
a
as
point
good as you can.
in
Yeah,
this
somebody
situation.
gets one is his objective, right? Don't think he probably has a small preference like we were talking about as far as one up, one down, but
Wider
being the
line,
team
it's a
without the
little bit
hammer,
better.
you're
The
just
one that
happy
got
that somebody
inside got
scores one.
eaten up.
Okay.
So Brad Gushue with the freeze attempt here. They should know this path and the speed. They've thrown it a bunch of times, so you have to think he'll be close.
That was close. Do you want to be touching the tee line?
Wait only, guys.
Line's good.
Yep.
You want to be on the tee line? It's light.
Yep.
Go ahead. Line's good. Yep.
Hard.
Line. Yes, line.
This is a much tighter line than
You gotta
we
go.
saw.
Hard.
Gotta go to get this by the top red.
Hard. 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 Curl. Curl.
Will not.
Okay.
Yeah, might almost be able to life.
It's just even nose, Ross.
Nose, yeah.
I think nose is really good.
You have to look from the long angle here and see.
I think so, 'cause right now
Yeah, you got some air there,
Anyway, so
so
if we lose it, it's all good.
you're going to have a
Well,
go,
you see,
try to
it's a
score
little bit
big
edge on
end.
edge.
This is where you
Don't have to whip it.
take your chance.
10,
All you got to
5,
do is
10.
get even a
I like a
touch
10-5.
low and cross.
I'll let you know when I get done.
Nose is probably good.
Nose is okay, I think, yeah.
Now you don't
Are you wanting 11?
We're just
really
trying to get
wanna
it
roll
here.
in,
Yeah.
which I don't think is going to be a problem.
Round the beat.
Second
11
yellow
probably.
guard is the one you're
Okay.
making sure you get by.
Side of that guard.
I like this.
11.
He's got a tough one if we make it.
Yeah, it's just. Does his yellow just spin to a better spot? Does his yellow just spin so he can roll off it?
I can't hear
I'm
you.
literally edge on edge, so I'm not curling much by the guard.
I think with 11 you can get to nose to sliver low. It's really good.
Yeah, but it's where he's coming off and into the pocket.
It should spill here.
11.
Yep.
You need to throw 11. You need to be like, you need to cross it. Cross the nose here. I need to cross the nose here at 11, Robin.
Okay.
Nose if we lie 2 though, at least it's ours staying there.
Not. Seems like it didn't look as good from the hack as he was hoping it might, but they've landed on 11, so a solid bumper board weight here, trying to get all the way to the nose and even a hair low.
Whoa.
10 off.
Clean.
Clean.
Clean. Yep.
Go.
Yes.
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 Really good.
Great shot there from Ross Whyte.
And not only do they make the short little hit and roll,
Even
but
if I can get it on top of this.
there's a double on the back 2 yellows. If any things ever
Yes,
go haywire
ideally.
for Gushue here.
Pretty flat to get
to
there.
score a million.
You're never going over top.
No. No, not at
Yeah.
the 5.
No. You could, yes, you could.
3/4
In
hard.
off the side here for Brad Gushue.
Brad. We get it in the vicinity. As you bite the button and
Basically just
we
a hit
threw a
and
couple
roll
here
into
that ran
the mast
quite
here.
straight.
But a must make,
Yeah,
I would
through
suggest.
board.
I think that's accurate.
Normal and good normal, it ran dead straight.
And Brad's got a couple ways to make it as long as it's enough weight. You can,
Yep.
you can play the in off into the red, or you can play the straight roll. The straight roll is what's going to put you in the best position. Gushue up against it here.
Huge shot here from Brad Gushue, trying to keep himself and his team in the game.
Yep.
Whoa!
Yep. Whoa.
Whoa! Curl, curl.
It's still fading right now.
Sakes.
Nowhere near, so. Option for Whyte to either draw for 3 or double for 5. I think the double is the call, and it's not the easiest of draws anyway.
Third's really good.
intern side is fairly open. But
Half stone's probably okay as well, is it?
Probably not a lot easier than this. And if you're going to throw 2 shots that are equally as difficult as each other, you may as well throw the one for 5 instead of the one for 3. So here we go, Ross Whyte to potentially end this game. I would think if you make this, there might be some Velcro sounds happening here.
Whoa, throw.
Whoa,
whoa, straight.
Whoa.
Clean.
Yep.
Close.
Yep.
Clean's a good call when you're looking for a double for 5. There you go.
And there it is. It'll be a huge 5 on the board for Team Whyte. They will move to 2-1. Brad Gushue falls to 0-3. I don't remember the last time we said that.
Good luck. Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in to our coverage here of the WFG Masters. For Tyler, George, and myself, and everybody at Home Team Live, we appreciate you joining us this morning. We'll be back with you at 11:30. It'll be Team Ha versus Team Skrillex, and we hope to see you then.